Hello guys, my name is Rachel and this is my channel. Welcome if you're new. That's cool. Okay. Since it is the end of the year, you kind of reflect on your life of what you did in that year and kind of put out the major points of what you did, which one of mine being starting this channel just a couple of months ago. Something that you guys may not know about me is that I love to read. I read constantly. Reading is something that is so a part of my life. I love to read, basically, is what I'm trying to say. And I do a lot of reading throughout the year. So today's video is going to be the 5 best books that I read in 2015. I think I came up with this on my own, though there's probably people who have already done this. But yeah, it's kind of going to work because I'm going to number them 5 through 1. 5 being not as favorited as number 1, if that makes any kind of sense. Of them all the same, but for different reasons. 5th and the 4th book are in a series, and that series is If I Stay and Where She Went by Gay Foreman. This series was kind of my first series where it's really like teen, I love you, romance books that I had read. And I thoroughly enjoyed them. The storyline is great. I love the tragedy and then the love, and it's a good all-around story. This book will definitely make you cry and make you laugh, and you kind of just fall in love with the character and the story itself. My 3rd book is Number the Stars by Lewis Lowry. I love anything that has to do with the Holocaust. I'm so interested in that time period, and I have tons of books about it. And I've read tons of books. I've read tons of books about the Holocaust, and it's one of my favorite time periods to read. And I hadn't read this one yet until this year, and I fell in love with the way that it is told through the eyes of a friend. It's such an interesting way to tell the story. If you haven't read this book, I would definitely recommend you read it because it's really good. My 2nd book is such a classic, and you've probably read it, but I hadn't read it till this year, and that is To Kill a Mockingbird by Harper Lee. The book is so interesting in the way that it is written. You kind of start to feel for the characters. It's one of those books where you really get connected with the characters and the storyline, and you kind of want to just go into the story and give everyone in the story a hug and be like, it's gonna be okay. We'll get through this book together. Now my last book, my number 1 favorite book that I read this year is Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children. I think that's how you pronounce her name. I don't know. This is by Ransom Riggs, and this is such an interesting book. I picked it up because I thought it was a horror book, and I really wanted to read a horror book. Though at the beginning you kind of think it is, and then the middle to the end you find out that it's sort of really not. But it's such a good book. It's one of those, it's so interesting to read, and when I started reading this, I couldn't put the book down. Not only is the story great, but the pictures just really draw you into the story and make you want to figure out, why is that picture like that? Why is that person looking like that, you know? I've read the first one, but I haven't read the 2nd one yet, Hollow City, so I plan on reading that in 2016. This book was so good, I even had my father read it, and he just finished it the other day, and he said that it was great, and he can't wait to read Hollow City. If you have any recommendation for books that I should read, or if you have your top 5 favorite books that you read in 2015 already picked out, tell me about them in the comments below. Also, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and subscribe, and do all that kind of fun stuff that everyone asks. Go ahead and do it. Hope you enjoyed this video. I will see you guys next week. Bye!